Hey guys, today we show another restoration project I've been working on, and this video is also for Chris, who owns this really nice Memorymoog Plus. So Chris, I'm just going to kind of go over it, and for anybody else that's interested, and just show you all the functionality of this thing, show you that it's 100% functional, just give you a good overview. I know I've sent you little pictures and videos in between the restoration process, but it's always good to see the final results, and that's what this video is for. But anyways guys, this one was a little bit more trouble than the usual Memorymoog because this thing actually arrived to me in two boxes. The chassis was in one box and all the circuit boards were in another box. So I literally had to put this thing back together before I could even troubleshoot or diagnose anything, which took a little extra time. And so got everything back together. First thing I did was start diagnostics and troubleshooting. And couldn't get the computer to work. It was locked up. So I started there, and what I found was a bad static realm chip there. And then once I got the computer running, I did a rough calibration. Then auto-tune didn't work. So went back to the computer. It was in the digital board. Had some issues with the logic drive for the auto-tune circuitry. And then on the next area of concern was there's one voice in particular that wouldn't do wave shapes on some of the oscillators. And for one issue, I found it was a bad CMOS chip, which I replaced all those in a restoration anyways. But then there were still some other problems, which turned out to be some cracked tracings on the voice board itself. So corrected the cracked tracings in a very nice way, so you have no more problems out of the tracings. And fixed that. And then after I got that working, I went through and found a bad 3310 chip for voice 6 VCL contour generator. So ended up having to replace a Curtis chip for that. And then finally, when I got everything rebuilt, I pulled everything back out after that point because it was all working. Went through all the circuit boards, replaced all the commonly failed components. On this one in particular, I did more upgrades because this is a very early serial number. This is actually 759th unit built, 1759 to be exact. And so it actually was originally a standard model, not a plus. And that's one reason why if you look here at the graphics, it looks different, because this is actually an overlay panel for the sequencer information that these buttons now take control of. And so for anybody that don't know the difference between a plus and standard Memorymoog, they're the exact same unit. A plus and a standard Memorymoog are the exact same unit, all the way down from demugs to common analog to voice cards. Even the computer is the same computer. What changes though is that there's software changes, and then there's a expansion board added that adds the sequencer and the extra RAM and stuff needed to run the sequencer memory. So you get some extra stuff, as well as the MIDI. And but as far as that goes, it's primarily the same unit. Which is really nice. It sounds exactly like a plus, or standard sounds just like a plus. It don't really matter. But that's the reason you see this graphic overlay, because this was originally a standard, then it was updated to a plus. And in the plus kit, it comes with an overlay and a new badge that says plus on it, so you can take your old badge out, put the new badge in. That's how this worked. It was really interesting. But anyways, with that said, there's a lot of things in this one that should have been addressed that was never addressed. Some chip changes and things like that to help improve stability and reliability. So took care of all that. Then once I got everything rebuilt, got it all fully calibrated, took it home with me, 12-hour burn-in, full chassis detailing, conditioned the wood, clean each knob by hand, so all the knobs have a nice sparkle to them now, where they were all dull and nasty. And so I just made sure this unit looked as good as it sounds, and it's fantastic. It's been well over 12-hour run time, and it's been great. But just to give you a good look here, I conditioned the wood real good. You can see how clean it looks. Now I will say this end is lighter than the rest of the chassis, and I think that's just because this might have set by a window at some point, and sunlight will affect the color of the wood depending on where it shines. So I think that's what happened there. But you can just kind of see how clean everything looks. I cleaned it up really nice for you. Cleaned the key bed, took the keys off, washed the keys, cleaned the contacts, cleaned the key bed itself, and so all that's nice and clean. And you can just kind of see now how that wood looks great. It has that nice grain show through. And Let's kind of show you a side glance here. But it's a real beautiful instrument now. And I'll walk you on back here and show you the back panel. Replace some hardware as well, because this thing was missing hardware because it was in pieces. But just show you, there's your serial number, 1759. I believe that's a 9. I'm not sure if that's a 4 or 9, but I'm pretty sure that's a 9. Just by looking at it. But clean the heatsink up real good, clean the stickers, just gave it a good cleaning. And then here's what happens when you get the Plus model, for anybody that hadn't seen a Plus model versus a standard. This is the Plus, and all it is usually just a blank piece of metal here, but it was replaced by this this new expansion board with the MIDI jacks and all the stuff needed to plug the sequencer in to clock and all this kind of stuff. So really interesting stuff there. But you can see I cleaned all the jacks as well. All the jacks have been cleaned. I just gave this thing just a good cleaning. All new hardware here. Went and got new hardware for all this. And I mean, it's just a really, really nice unit now. I'll show you this end cap here just to give you a good view of it. And I mean, it cleaned up really, really nice. I'm very happy with this unit. Considering the fact it was in pieces when I got it, it's really, really nice. And what I'm going to do right quick is before I go into all the voices, I've actually built just a custom preset here. I'll let you hear it. I didn't save it. I'm just going to give you a good idea of how this thing sounds now. It's a killer synth. But I'll show you this, and then I'll pull the camera. I'll show you all the oscillators are working. And just kind of go over things, just show you everything's functioning here. But you can hear this great. So that's oscillator 3 with the modulation, and then oscillator 1 and 2 are synced, and it's controlled by the voice modulation frequency of the VCF envelope. Something like that. We can cut off oscillator sync. We can control the amount by the filter control knob. Off altogether. As you can hear, it sounds really great, and that's just one setup I like to do, just to show you that something a little different here than my usual Memorymoog video. But I've also got an unconditional contour, which means it don't matter when I hit a key, it's going to always contour. So I really don't have to sit there and hold in notes to get this thing to contour in that way. Close that filter up. We calibrated all the filters as well, so they all have a nice sound as well. Something else we'll do here, I'll just go back to preset. And something else I like to do with these, I'll just put this thing in reset mode. And this actually makes it like a monophonic synth, even though it's still in poly mode. sounding synthesizer. But now what we'll do, we'll go back to preset 1. I'm going to walk you through the oscillators here to show you that everything's functioning. So we'll start with oscillator 1. Let me go get it set up here. I got to set this out of low mode. C5, enter. What I just did there with C5 is I centered the 2 frequency control knobs through the computer, not through the actual knobs. And we'll start with oscillator 1 here. And to show you that this thing's actually working, we'll open the filter up. Let me grab the camera here. Let me do this right quick. And I'll walk you through the debugging mode so I can show you that all voices are actually working. So we'll go C4, enter. This is how you can actually look at each voice. You can see it here. Now when I hit a note, so there's oscillator 1. We can go to sawtooth here. As you can hear. And then we got the, these buttons are still a little tricky here. But we'll go up an octave here. This is the triangular wave of oscillator 1. As you can hear. So there's oscillator 1. Then we'll go to oscillator 2 here, turn it up. And same thing here. So as you can hear, there's the square wave. Here's your sawtooth. As you can hear, and then here's your triangular wave. And that's oscillator 2. Go back to square wave on that one. Then we'll go to oscillator 3. And oscillator 3 will start with square wave. And it's actually an octave lower because of the octave setting. We can go here and have the same octave as the other oscillators. As you can hear. And then we'll go to sawtooth. And then we'll go to the triangular wave and go up an octave here. So as you can hear, all oscillators are working. And to show you too, we'll do a 6 tuned to show you that all oscillators are actually working. So we hit auto tune. It takes just a few seconds here. As you can see, it says 6 tuned, so all voices are tuning up. This is very, very powerful. Let me put the camera back on the tripod now, and I'll just walk you through some of the other functions here, as well as some of the presets, just to give you an idea of what you've got. So right now, this is preset 1. We'll go back to preset 1. I modified it just a bit for the voicing here. Make sure this is disabled. And your glide circuits work. Working. We'll go to preset 2 and I'll show you that your actual sequencer is working as well. I've loaded the factory data on it as well, which can be overwritten. It's not a big deal. It's just really just demo data. And all I did was modify the attack time. We can go down the octave. It gets really low. great sounding preset, probably one of my favorites. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set a fast attack for both the filter and the amplifier, so you can hear it's a lot faster. And we're going to enter the sequencer. So to enter the sequencer, if for people that's not familiar, all you do is hit the CC enter. So you have to hit C twice on the keypad and then hit enter, and it takes you into the sequence. It'll display sequencer on the display screen, or just say sequence, not sequencer. And then what we'll do, we'll just start with the first sequence, bank 1, and this is So as you can hear, that's working great. You got other memory areas too. Anyways, you can get the idea that the sequencer's working, the MIDI's working, and I've already tested all that. And then we want to go back to the regular LFO section. So what you do is you hit CC again, enter, and that takes you back into the normal synthesizer. And now we have control of our modulation. Great sounding synthesizer. I love the Memorymoog. It's a beast. And right now you're still hearing it polyphonic mode. What we'll do is we'll go to monophonic mode, and that stacks all 18 oscillators together. So all voices are stacked with all 18 oscillators present. Great sounding synth, and everything's fully calibrated too, so there's no out of tune stuff going on. And you'll really notice tuning when you hit mono mode. Anyways, we go to another preset. We'll go to preset 3. Great sound. It actually does some pretty good organs too. Really good sounds. Preset 5. And what you're hearing there, you're hearing an example of LFO being, or Oscillator 3 being used in the LFO source, and it's actually still tracking the keyboard, so every voice will still track the key, and so you get that that pattern. preset there. And what it's doing is, like I said, it's tracking the keyboard on Oscillator 3, but it's actually controlling the filter through the voice modulation. So then we got preset 6. Tone there. Some really great presets, but like I said, when you get into programming, my personal Memorymoog, I've spent a lot of time just writing programs, and they're just amazing. And basically what I'm doing here, I'm just transposing the keyboard using this octave button, -1 and then 0, as you can hear. Another really cool preset there. That's actually using the sample and hold and controlling the frequency of Oscillator 2 with the Oscillator sync. So you're hearing the Oscillator sync control pitch of Oscillator 2. So you get that, get that off. So just a pretty cool sound there. Now this is one of my favorites here. This is actually a really thick, nice pad, and it just sounds great. So that's one of my favorite presets as well. I won't go through all these presets because there's actually 100 presets. I'll just give you an idea of kind of what's in here. You got some weird stuff. This preset in particular too because it has a flutter effect from Oscillator 3 being used in LFO again on the filter, and it's still tracking the keyboard, so you get this kind of fluttering effect. As you can hear, it's just a really cool sound. But so here's a simple preset. So what I'm going to do now is I'll show you the filter response and just show you the contours are actually working. So we'll go here, turn tracking off the filter. not tracking the keyboard. We'll turn on tracking. Actually, turn this up a little bit. And I calibrated all 6 filters too, so they got the correct tracking and the correct voltage peak to peak for the waveform and the right offset of the waveform of the self oscillation. So it's just got a really nice response per voice. Which also lends its hand nice when you do a mono. You can hear how those filters are nice and tight together. I'm going to hit C5. So here's just your filter. So anyway, you can hear just your filter, and we'll go to mono mode or poly mode. Of course, it's a little hard to tune. There's no 440 Hertz reference like on a Memorymoog, so you actually have to turn up Oscillator, which engages frequency into the filter. So it's hard to set your harmonics with using an oscillator because it's always playing with the harmonics in the filter itself. So usually what I do is when I want to use the filter for a audio source is I'll use a external 440 Hertz note or another keyboard to set the filter tuning, and then that works great. But anyways, that just shows you your filters working. I'll show you the response of the envelope generator now. I'll turn this thing up a little bit. So here it is with a fast attack, and then we'll start bringing up the decay slowly so you can hear the decay. As you can hear, it's a very long. As you can hear, and we also got attack. That may be too high pitch. I'll bring the filter down. There we go, that might be better. You also got your sustain level. What that does is that actually controls how far down the decay goes. So when you're 0, it goes all the way to 0. You may have 0 decay. And then you got your release time, which release, let's set this up. So I got this thing where it has a constant sustain. Now you can hear your release. That's when I release a note. Sorry about that, my camera just timed out here. So anyways, like I said, in your envelope, I got it set all the way to 20 now, and this is a very long response. So that's your filter contour. And then we've also got the loudness control, so we'll bring up an oscillator for this. So now we got almost a zero decay. And it works very similar to the controller of the filter. Only it controls the VCA. As you can hear. And then we also got attack. The same response there. And then we've also got the release. We'll set this back up. As you can hear. So you get something like that. And that works for all voices. Let me see, I think I'm actually in reset mode. We'll go cyclic. And what you're hearing there, I got a release time set faster than the decay. So when I want a response of the notes, I actually release the notes faster to get the release time. Otherwise, I get just the decay time. Like for instance that versus a nice. So you get some response like that. But anyways, that's just some simple stuff there. But I will show you also that the pitch works. Let me set this back up. The pitch wheel works. You've already heard the modulation. So all that works. And you can adjust your amount of that pitch bend using this knob here. As you can hear. And then the same thing with modulation. You have a modulation wheel, or you can manually set your modulation. If you want it to stay on all the time, you can use this modulation amount knob. Which actually bypasses this wheel. Well, it's hard to believe that's still only one oscillator. We're going to bring up the other oscillator here. It's just a powerful synth, and there's just nothing else like it. Something else I like to do too, I'll just show you this right quick. This is another just little thing. I've showed this in the past on some other videos, but for those that hadn't seen those other videos, I'm going to do a polyphonic glide. So we'll make this thing glide polyphonically. And I'm going to hit mono button, and when I hit this note, you'll hear all those glides get pulled in. So it sounds like this right here. It has this really cool effect of the glide. But anyways, Chris, I just want to go over your Memorymoog, and just kind of give you a good overview here of it. And once again, I appreciate you letting me restore this thing for you. And it's been a real pleasure getting this thing going. This was literally a grave to glory synthesizer here, because it was in pieces, and luckily I was able to bring it all back to life for you here. But anyways, thanks again, Chris, and for those that watch, appreciate you watching, appreciate all the support, and there'll be more to come soon. Take care.